level of immorality was in France was transferred to all the Francophone countries. Why? Because the mentality had to be changed. So you should be able to hold your wife on the street and kiss her. That is what the French do. Express love openly. Express love in front of your children. That's the French lifestyle. And so the Francophones adopted all this. So, but one thing also is that before the French came to the Francophone also had their own culture. They had their own lifestyle, which was similar to ours. Their culture and their lifestyle was entirely based on their topography. And we share similar things with them like that. What do I mean by their topography? Many of the Francophone countries in West Africa are linked by one thing, and that is the Atlantic Ocean. And so the Atlantic Ocean up to Badagry, Lagos, Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. No, Burkina doesn't have the Atlantic. Yeah, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, Mali doesn't have. Senegal, yes. So they pass through the Atlantic passes through them. And so what do I mean by their culture? Their culture was influenced by their tradition. And their tradition was rooted in the marine kingdom. So they allowed the powers in the water to dictate to them your tradition. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, to cut this short, let me go to Benin Republic. Now, Benin Republic was not a country before 1960. It was an area that was close to Nigeria. And Benin Republic extended up to Tollgate here before. So Badagry, which is called Badagry, is entirely a Benin land. Now, it was not called Benin Republic. What was it called before? It was referred to as the Kingdom of Dahomey. Now, this kingdom, thank God we have Brother Tosia here. What is the meaning of Dahomey? Can you give? In the belly of a snake. Yes, in the belly of a snake. So the founder of Dahomey, the founder of the country said Dahomey as a statement. Why? His brother, near where the country started from, which is Abomey, his elder brother gave him land. And then he came, collected, and started growing. Later he saw that his elder brother has more land. He went to his elder brother and said, give me more land. The elder brother gave him. After he now saw that his elder brother has more land than him, he now went back, give me more land. You want to have more than me? You want to have more land than me? So his elder brother's name was Dan. So who was also worshipping a serpent. So one day he came quietly and said, if I'm able to kill my brother, I will have all that he has. So he carried stick. He carried a very big stick while his brother was sleeping and put the stick in his tummy and killed him. That is that. So he said, I killed Dahomey through his tummy. That's how Dahomey came up. So the country was birthed in betrayal. And so it runs in the blood of it runs around the entire country, betrayal. And ever since then, if you read the history of the kings of Dahomey, the kings of Abomey kingdom, father betrayed by son, son betrayed by brother, brother betrayed by mother, until date, even up to their presidential system, it's all about betrayal. In the offices, betrayal. Why? Because the entire country was birthed in betrayal. Now, when they established the Dahomey kingdom, the Dahomey fought and took over lands, took over kingdoms in Togo, took over kingdoms towards the north, towards Niger, and then said the next place they need to conquer, the only place they've not conquered is Abeokuta. So they fought with Abeokuta 3 times to conquer. The second time, the king called King Gwezo, he lost the battle to take over Abeokuta by just a small margin. So he came back, and then they consulted their gods, and they said the only thing that you need to do in your next battle to take over Abeokuta is carry out the sacrifices, do this, do that, do that. And it took them months to prepare and to do everything that the deity said. And so they prepared, and they said they are going now to take over Abeokuta. And that will be the only place that is left for them to conquer. They even have a song. We conquered everywhere except Abeokuta. The song is sung up to today in form. So, as he was going, his younger brother said, if my brother succeeds on this journey, he will be the greatest king ever. Not even our father, who tried to fight Abeokuta and couldn't win. So what did the brother do? He went and climbed a mountain in a place that is today called Azanyadu. And he knew that his brother, the king, and the entourage are going to pass there. So he stood on the mountain with a gunpowder and shot at his brother. And when he shot at his brother, the brother said, Azanyadu. What is the meaning of Azanyadu? The evening has come too early. So the brother died. And that's the last expedition, the last attempt by Dahomey to conquer Abeokuta. So there are parts of Porto Novo, parts of, if there's even Ketu in Benin Republic, where they speak predominantly Yoruba, which were captured by the Dahomey kingdom. So when this kingdom expanded and the colonialists came, they now took it up as the kingdom of Dahomey, the country of Dahomey, till after independence. It was after independence when Machu Kereku came that he now said, when you say this is Dahomey, it means that this is only a country for the Fon people. Meanwhile, we have Yorubas here, we have different ethnic groups here, we have the Aja, we have a lot of... So they now changed the name to Republic of Benin. Why? Because they said, okay, the only thing that appertains to us is the Bight of Benin. How many of us have heard of the Bight of Benin? If you are flying into Cotonou, there is a place where the water bodies form a bight. So that is called the Bight of Benin. So that's where they got the name Benin, the Bight of Benin, to represent the entire country. So the entire country, is based on what? Water. It's based on serpent. So from Dahomey to Benin. Now, if you go to Guinea, where our brother used to be, Guinea is also another francophone country that is covered by water. Atlantic Ocean, the Mano River, which extends from Sierra Leone to Liberia to Guinea and connects to Guinea, Conakry, Guinea-Bissau. All there, their culture there is linked to what? The water. And so if we read in Jeremiah, I can't get the verse now, where Jeremiah talked about, where the Bible talks about the big serpent in the water, Leviathan. So when you read that place where it talks about the Leviathan, you know that the entire West Africa lies in the belly of the Leviathan. So the Leviathan, which some people would describe as the queen of the coast, some people would describe as the power, the serpent in the water, controls the culture of the entire breadth of West Africa, particularly the Francophone, and even some parts of the Anglophone, where you see that we worship Yemoja. Who is Yemoja? The Yorubas call her Yemoja. If you go to Togo, I have colleagues from Mali, and she told me that their divinity, their principality that brought them is snake, is serpent. The same thing in Guinea. Many of the families trace their origin to serpent. Some don't even eat serpent at all. Some don't touch it, some touch it, some play with it. But everything around their culture is linked to that serpent. So, Togo is in the belly of the water. Benin is in the belly of the water. Senegal, in fact, the greatest exploits in Senegal were made by Muslims. And our brother here used to tell me of Serin Tuba. Serin Tuba is a man, an Islamic cleric. Up to today, they have his public holiday in Senegal. What was he able to do? He was able to use serpentine powers, marine powers, to throw his mat on the ocean and observe the Islamic prayer. Yes. He observed the Islamic prayer on the ocean. You know how ocean, not on any river, this Atlantic Ocean. So if you go to Senegal, I was there in September and I asked someone, do you know of Senegal? He says, that's our Lord. The guy said, that's our Lord. I said, is it true that he prayed on the ocean? He said, yes, we have the evidence and everything. If you go on Google, it is there. His photo, the photo of, because they did a creation of what he did, like during the colonial days. So there is a generation of the Tuba, people who believe in his eyes. That's why in Senegal have even imported part of their Islamic culture into Nigeria. I know that for a sure, for a fact. You have the sheikhs, you have Muslim brotherhoods in Senegal, and many of our politicians in the north subscribe to these brotherhoods. There is the Tuba, there is Ibrahim Iyas. Ibrahim Iyas is that picture of one Islamic man that has white beards that people put his picture on the back of their buses. Iyas was another principality, an Islamic principality in Senegal. But his own power too was linked to the serpent and from the water. So he did so many wonders. And then one day he went to US and he died in US. Before he was leaving, he told his armor bearer not to pack many things. And they say, oh, he knew that he was not going to return. Some years ago, at a mosque in Ikorodu, the picture of Ibrahim Iyas appeared on the mosque in Ikorodu. And many people that were sick, when they were brought to the picture healed them. Miracles started happening in the mosque, and there was a revival in Ikorodu around that mosque. Why? The picture of Ibrahim Iyas, Sheikh Ibrahim Iyas, is healing people. So if you are among those who are still going to church or taking decisions based on miracles, know it for a fact today that even picture of a dead Muslim scholar performed miracles live in Ikorodu. It was reported by all our papers. So we now come to Benin Republic. Let's major on Benin Republic as we round up. Benin Republic is the closest country to us on the western side, and it is one of the countries that is in deep darkness. When the Bible talks about darkness, picture the Benin Republic. When one of our leaders here, Dr. Dike Olukoya of the MFM, was talking about his experience around the world, he said that it is more difficult to cast out devils in Francophone countries than any other part of the world. I mean, from a deliverance minister, coming from a foremost deliverance minister, we cannot have any reason to doubt that, based on what we are even seeing now in the country. So, Benin Republic is being chosen here as representative of all the Francophone countries because this country is the headquarters of the religion called Voodoo in the world. So what is Voodoo? Voodoo is linked to what we call the Ifa, the traditional religion here in Yoruba land. But it goes beyond that. It's a religion that believes in ancestral linkages, ancestral powers, the powers of your ancestors appearing to you and telling you what to do. It's linked to doing charms. It's linked to conferring directly with the devil on whatever you want to do. And so in the Republic of Benin, Benin has been designated as the global headquarters of voodoo religion. And people from Haiti, where voodoo is practiced, Mexico, all around the world, every 10th to 15th of January, they come for a world pilgrimage in Cotonou And then they go to Ouida, which is the source, like the headquarters of voodoo in the country. And so in Benin Republic, we have a leader of the voodoo religion who is called the Dagbo Uno. So the Dagbo Uno is the spiritual head of all voodoo activities in the country. And he's based in Ouida. The person that is there now is his son. Now, the father of the one that is there is reputed to have walked on the Atlantic Ocean from Ouida to Cotonou. So when Christians go to preach and they say, oh, Jesus walked on water, they say, even the Dagbo Uno walked from Ouida to Cotonou. So did Jesus walk on Atlantic? Atlantic that is very, very... So now they have a national council which this man heads. Every year the country gives 10 million to this council. When they under the former president Boni Yayi, they give also 10 million sefa. 10 million sefa in Nigerian naira now is about 30 million naira. So they give 10 million sefa to the Christian body. So they share it between the Catholic and the evangelicals. Then 10 million to the National Voodoo Council. They don't recognize Islam. So the country is divided into, let's say, 70% voodoo, and then 28% Christian, and then the rest Muslims. And the Muslims are majorly around the north and Porto Novo. And those are the Yorubas actually. So they give these monies. Then beginning of every year, the National Voodoo Council will come out with their prediction for the year, for the whole country. They consult the Ifa. I have a friend, Didier, who is going to do his PhD in Ifa. He's planning to do his PhD in Ifa because Ifa is revered in the whole country. So they consult the Ifa, and the Ifa gives predictions for each year from January to December. So when they come up with these predictions, they send it to the presidency. So there was a year I came, they said, I came to Benin and I saw a lot of accidents. That's what's happened. That was 2018. They said, oh, the prediction for this year is that there's going to be a lot of accidents. And so every day, you see people die. You know. So there was a particular year, they say is the year of the women. Women are going to become very important. You know, and a lot of women died. So the Ifa comes, what is the Ifa oracle? They're consulting darkness, just like Saul consulted. So they consult darkness to tell them, what is the outlook for this year? What should we do? So they give this to the presidency, and the presidency incorporates it into their plan for the year. So sometimes they give money, to say, let's push away some of these things that Ifa has said will happen this year. Oh, there's going to be flooding. In fact, that is what my friend wants to do his PhD on. He wants to do his PhD on the role of Ifa in risk management. How to manage risk in the country. Risk and catastrophic events. So they say we can use Ifa to predict where there's going to be a catastrophe in the country. Like flood, like fire, like building collapse. And then when you use Ifa, you can now... So that's the extent to which the country is immersed in voodoo. So they make a lot of money from voodoo. People come from all over the world to consult them for voodoo, and voodoo is elevated at a very, very high level. Now, for many years, the only church that was allowed in Benin Republic was Catholic. That's why. Why? Because of the influence of the French. So there was no other church until Assemblies of God and Methodists now came in. The missionaries brought these Orthodox churches, but these Orthodox churches were mainly in the cities. Now there is a place called Agonli. This Agonli is close to Azanyadu, where I talked about that the former king was killed. All the churches in Benin Republic, including Catholic, tried to go there to establish a parish. They failed. Nobody could go there. Agonli, till today, if you meet a Benin person and you ask, Do you know anybody from Agonli? They will shout. Now, if you say you meet a girl and you want to marry the girl, and the girl tells you it's from Agonli, you run. So Agonli was like the origin of darkness in Benin Republic. No church could come there until Capro sent a Nigerian evangelist and his wife. Now, the Nigerian evangelist, who is Yoruba, and his wife got there and went to meet the government, and they said they are an NGO and they are here to teach the children alphabets. They're going to teach the children language, in French, and English. And so they started as an NGO that is teaching the children, and they released their children to the missionaries. And the missionaries, after teaching them, the children got engaged and became happy. And then the missionaries now started introducing the gospel to them, to the children. And some of the children started giving their life to Christ. Now, Agonli is a place where when girls, all female children, reach the age of 13, they carry them, every girl that has reached the age of 13, they carry them to the priestess of the village. The priestess of the village has a very big house where every year she performs ritual for all the girls that clock 13. So they come and stay with her. They don't wear any clothes. They bathe with sand for 7 days. So they put markings on them. Then on the 7th day, she takes them naked, round the village, reciting incantations. Why are they doing this? On the females alone and not on the boys. Their understanding is that when you get the girls, you get the community, you get the whole country, because even people from other places are going to marry. So when these girls are filled with the power of the voodoo, anybody they marry in life will be locked to it. Their children, they are targeting next generation. When you are targeting next generation, you don't target boys. You target the women. Target the girls. So, when they now notice that some of their children are now doing something, singing and dancing with these Nigerians that came, and they asked, they now say, the children told them that they've given their life to God. I said, what? Church that we didn't allow here, these people are coming to establish church. So, the priestess went and told the chief priest. The chief priest now told the king. The king now said, okay, you should do what you can do. So the chief priest went and warned these couple missionaries that he's giving them 7 days to leave Agonli. 7 days. So the missionaries said they can't leave, that God was the one that asked them to come here. So that's okay, then prepare to die. Then the chief priestess also came and warned them that her children that you people are introducing your God to, we are going to kill both of you. You will not get out of this village alive. So, by the 3rd day of that 7 days, the chief priest died mysteriously. By the 5th day, the chief priestess went to the king and said, it's remaining 2 days for us to send these people out of this village or we kill them. And the king now told her that if you can do it, go ahead and do it. But since the chief priest has died mysteriously, I am not in a position to. So the chief priest came, threatening them even on the 7th day. And nothing happened. And so the couple succeeded and they established the church in Agonli. But the battles continued, but they kept succeeding, winning every battle that was thrown at them. Now, a time came, their call in Agonli was over, according to Capro missions. They have to leave to go to another field. So, what did they do? The church they have established, they can't leave it like that. Even while they were there, no other church made attempts to come. So Capro had to go and look for churches in Benin Republic to come and take over this church that they have established. in Agonli. And the moment one of the churches accepted to come, that's when other churches now started going there to set up a branch. Now, the truth of the matter is that there are many Agonli communities in Francophone countries till date where you cannot establish a church or you cannot call people together to worship God. Then, one thing that makes us to understand that the divinity, the principality in charge of the Francophone countries, and particularly Benin Republic, is the serpent linked to the water, is that many of their deities in the country are serpent-linked deities. They are serpent-linked deities. Many of the families are worshipping serpent. I'm sure you saw Nigerians, pictures of Nigerians who go to Wida for tourism, and then they put snakes on their and everybody. So what they have just done is they get possessed, they get indoctrinated into the serpentine spirit. Because those snakes, they say, oh, they don't do anything, so people use them to take pictures for selfie. But you have just been initiated into the Serpentine dynasty. Now, the Serpentine dynasty is linked to marine powers. Now, what is the in spiritual warfare? What is the attention or the fort of marine powers? The devil divided his kingdom, his power and the departments accordingly. The powers of the air have their own area of specialization, witchcraft. The powers in the water, the marine, they are referred to as anti-marriage forces. Every marine power is created and established to do what? Dissolve marriages. That is their focus. That is their objective. You don't see marine powers saying, oh, we want to rule kingdoms, power. No, political power. No, people go there, pastors go there to seek for power, but they give those pastors power because they know that is a doorway to marriages in their church. All marine powers are targeted at marriage. They are called anti-marriage forces. So, if you look at many of our churches too, in the Anglophone area and also the Francophone, that have links to water, churches that go to the water to preach, churches that got their foundation on water. Like a particular church that we all know, the founder said he was by the beach and he saw an angel. An angel told him to establish a church, and he said, how will he know that this is from God? And the angel now told him to light a candle by the ocean, and if that candle goes off by tomorrow morning, then this is not from God. But if the candle remains till the following morning, then know that it's from God. And so he did that. Imagine, do you know what it means to light candle by Badagry Beach? He lit a candle and the candle remained like that till the following morning. And so the church was birthed. Then another one that was part of him too, in Benin Republic, was in the forests and cutting trees. And he had a very big leg, so he couldn't wear shoes. He couldn't find the size of his shoes. So an angel appeared to him and told him to establish a church as well. And they should wear a particular color of garments, and that is how he set up the church. Now, if you look at these churches that are, and so they set up their branches near the water or near burial grounds, and then they do their washing activities near the water. They do everything basically on the water. If you have a problem, they say, let's go and bait you. They believe that deliverance is by baiting. Now, if you look through the churches from the leadership of one of these churches once said that the Bible is not against polygamy. And so he had like how many wives? So many. Now, those churches too, they tell you, some of them I heard they are still practicing it. If you want to get married in the church, the night before the marriage, you have to take your wife to sleep in the pastor's house. The pastor has to purify her womb the night before the marriage. So that is what? A manifestation of marine powers, anti-marriage forces. So if you come to Benin Republic today, it will be very, very difficult, even in the church, to find someone who can say, I have a father, I have a mother, and all my brothers and sisters are from the same family. It's difficult. Till today. You see somebody, oh, this is, I share mother with this one, I share father with this one. So a woman marries, produces children here, moves to another place, produces, everywhere like that. So it's and the whole country is in this. And so the marine powers know that this is the only way we can get these people. So the anti-marriage forces has attacked marriage in Benin Republic. The level of divorce is something else. I used to think that Kenya, South Africa, but if you come to, in Benin Republic is the place where your daughter in secondary school becomes pregnant and it's not a problem. Now, almost all the girls in university have already dropped one child or the other before even coming to university. So that's the manifestation of what? Anti-marriage forces. So in addition to voodoo, you see the marine controlling the next generation. Because when a child is born out of wedlock, it affects generations of that boy is going to start. We saw what happened to Hagar and Ishmael. So when a child,
encourage our brethren in our churches to take this thing seriously.